Hi guys, so I just want to do a video on proportional editing. I saw this in a help group, someone coming from 3ds Max like myself, and in 3ds Max you have something called soft selection, and in Blender it's called proportional editing. So I'm just going to go through and demonstrate the different ways of using it. So I'm just going to add in a plane, and just going to make that 10 meters. Go into edit mode and subdivide it 10 times, and then subdivide it again another 10 times, just so we've got something nice and dense. And then I'm just going to select any face in the middle, and proportional editing is up here, and the toggle is the O key, as you can see here. So if I press O, you'll see that lights up. And what it does, if I press the G key to grab, you'll see it has a sort of, it affects the surrounding geometry. And if I constrain that to the Z axis, you'll see it just goes straight up and down, and I can then scroll the mouse wheel to make that a bigger or smaller selection. So that's all good and well. And while we're doing that, next to it is this fall off. So at the moment it's set to smooth, and you can see that it's just a sort of smooth transition in and out. The next one down is sphere, which, as you might imagine, makes a perfect sphere. You can see this best if you go into, say, side view, and you do this, you'll see it fills up perfectly the actual radius of the fall off amount. Okay, next one down is root, gives a slightly different fall off. Okay, again, just use the scroll wheel to make it bigger or smaller. Inverse square, it's similar to root but with a nicer rounding at the top. Use this to make sort of egg-shaped domes, I suppose you'd call that. Next we've got sharp, so it sort of brings it up to a point, and again you can use that to make, say, a funnel, or you could model a hurricane out of that, whatever you want. Linear is perfectly straight. So you can see this goes up in a completely, so the sides of this are completely straight and everything is just evenly spaced in between, as if you'd used the spacing tool. Next one down is constant, which again just does everything in a solid block. It's sort of strange pattern in that one for some reason, not quite sure why. And then lastly you've got random, which is a bit of an interesting one, because you can use that quite interestingly to make different types of terrain. Like you could use this to make mountains or dangerous terrain. You can also use this if you've got, say you do a grid selection. Sorry, let me just do that. And say you go to sphere, change the fall off, and then it will just do it in those areas. So you could use this to make something like, I don't know, sort of like a skate park perhaps. You've got like a tunnel with rounded sides. Okay, and the other thing you can do with this, because I'm just going to do a quick bit of modelling here, so bear with me a second. Let's just add in a cube, just so I can demonstrate. So say we've got a model like this, and you want to use proportional editing on this side for some reason. Now, if you go too big with this, you'll see it moves all of it, and you don't necessarily want that. You might want it to just do the stuff on the right. And to do that, you simply go up here, turn on connected only, and it will basically work its way down this model that way and round. So it won't affect this until you make the fall off enormous. So let me just grab that, and you'll see now it doesn't affect that. And as I make this larger, it's working its way down the right hand side, and it's not actually moving that until I get this basically covering the whole model more or less. So this is just you can also, while you're moving, obviously you can still constrain or exclude certain axes. Okay, and yeah, it's quite a useful tool for if you're trying to model something and get a certain curve. It is Blender Guru does go over it in his donut tutorial, and I believe his anvil tutorial as well. Both excellent tutorials for learning just the basic tools of Blender. But yeah, hope you found this useful. Thank you for watching, and take care.